Well, good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana Weather. Want to bring you a quick forecast update on the rain that we are expecting this weekend. It's the holiday weekend, 4th of July. Most of us have a good 3-day weekend here, and well, because of that, a lot of activities outside going on. I know the Du Bois County Bombers have fireworks planned after their game, their home game on Sunday night the 3rd. So I know many of your communities having fireworks celebrations and all. Everyone wants to know, is it going to rain these things out? Well, let's take a look at the data. Unfortunately, it's looking like a pretty wet weekend at this point. Saturday looks like the driest of the days. Here's the way the morning GFS came in, and you can see high pressure large and in charge on Saturday. But then as you move into Sunday, it's a much different story. That high is weakening. It's moving out of the way. It's being forced out of the way here, as you will, if you will, by a deepening low pressure, and that deepening low pressure here moves over us and brings us a pretty significant amount of rain here on both Sunday and Monday, according to that. Now, the Euro is a little bit different than that. The morning run here of the Euro came in just a little bit differently. By the time you come in here into Saturday morning, really nothing much going on here. In fact, it keeps us high and dry on Saturday with 0 rain chances there. There are some others that are disagreeing. We'll see it in a second. It starts to nudge the leading edge of the first waves for us in here on Sunday morning. In fact, Sunday looks like a pretty wet day, but then by the time you get into Sunday afternoon, you notice it's got a nice dry pocket over us. This is something some of the other models don't have. You'll notice what it's really doing here is pushing this heavier precipitation band up more towards the north. Now, I'm not convinced that's necessarily the case. I'm not convinced it's not the case either, because what you see here, as we just go back to this wider view, take a look at what you've got here. You've pretty much got the lack of an atmospheric blocking pattern up here. You've got a weak high pressure that's up here, but it's not really close enough to squelch it down that much, and you don't have just a ton of atmospheric blocking. Blocking would basically force this low to go a little bit more to the south. Lows, whenever they are deepening like this, and what you see is it ejecting out of here and deepening, you see it wanting to go on a path more like this, because lows want to go poleward as they are deepening over time. They want to start to go towards the North Pole there. And so as it deepens, it's naturally going to migrate a little bit more north, and that's the Euro is picking up on that, and I think that's why you're seeing some heavier precipitation bands up towards our north. Will that be the case? Will that not be the case? We don't know. Either way, it still gets wet. The cold front starts to drag through here, and then just to give you an idea, there's your low right there, but really what you've got is a warm front draped over here, and then you've got a cold front that's dragging behind this. And so as you move through this, then the cold front starts to move over you. But notice the heavier precipitation bands still staying up to our north according to the Euro. Still some pretty decent rains with the Euro, don't get me wrong. It actually dries us out a lot more on Monday than what the other modeling does. It's still got some rain here, but not like some of the other modeling, and then of course it's all gone after that. Now, let me just show you a couple of other ones here real quick that'll give you an idea of what's going on. First, let's take a look here at the NAM model. This is the regular NAM, and as I put this into motion, this is simulated reflectivity. Here, your simulated radar, and here what you've got, this is 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. As I put this into motion, notice what happens here. By the afternoon hours, by 2 o'clock, it has rain moving into the area. Now, this is something that we did not see on both the Euro and the GFS. What I'm showing you here is that there is some model disagreement here still, and we're potentially a day away from this right now. So something that hopefully the evening model runs tonight we'll be able to sort through. Maybe this was a bad run, we'll have to see, but it keeps us pretty wet here according to the low res NAM here on Saturday. Then it dries us out during the overnight hours, just like some of the other ones do, but then by the time Sunday comes in, the deluge comes in. But just like the Euro, look at this, the heavier rains are up towards the north for the most part. It dries us out on Sunday afternoon as well, before that cold front sweeps through later in the day, and then it moves everything out of the area so fast that Monday we don't really see much of anything. Now, is that the right solution? I'm not convinced of that yet. Again, I'm just showing you these because there's a lot of model disagreement at this point. If we go to the higher res NAM counterpart here, it doesn't have a tremendous amount of rain for us on Saturday. It keeps us mostly dry until later in the afternoon. That's when some showers do start to move into the area as we head into Saturday late afternoon and into the evening hours. Then it dries us out before it moves more rain in on Sunday, and then just like its low res counterpart, you see the rain moving through here, but it doesn't keep us quite as dry as what the other lower res does. This model happens to stop at 8 p.m. here on Sunday night, and you see quite a bit more rain coming here. So again, there's 4 different model ideas. The idea is that you can get through all of them, though, that you just need to know it's going to rain. If you're wanting to avoid rain this weekend, I can guarantee you at some point it's pretty much going to rain. The question at this point is it going to be an all-day soaker? Is it going to be more spotty? I would bank on more of an all-day soaker at this point, based on the data that I'm seeing. It is possible that this in runs later tonight and tomorrow could trend a little bit more towards the north and leave us more into those scattered chances and the heavier precipitation shield up to our north. That's been a trend all week in the modeling, but it's only going to go so far north. There is a high pressure up in Canada that will stop it from lifting up so far north, but there's no major atmospheric blocking close to squelch it down to say that it has to stay here in southern Indiana. I don't know about you, but I'd rather have the heavier rains go a little bit north of our viewing area off of southern Indiana. Personally, central Indiana can have it. I don't really want the 4 or 5 inch rains. I'd be happy with 1 or 2 inch rains. With that said, let me show you what the data says on the rain totals. Here is the GFS. The GFS still giving us a pretty good thumping, even though the heavier precipitation bands, yes, are here up to the north. You got some 5, 4, and 5 inch pockets over here. It pretty much puts those heaviest precipitation bands up here in central Indiana. But notice this 3.2 down here at Washington, and down there at Evansville, only 1.3 in Louisville. So that's a little bit better there. But nonetheless, still some decent rainfall when you're talking 3 inches of rain over the course of a couple of days there. The Canadian model is a little bit lighter. It also pushes that heavier rain band way to the north. And the Euro model there, giving us some decent totals down here as well. But again, the heavier band looks to be, according to the Euro model, up here and to where everything else is going. But still, you're talking 2.8, 2.4. You're talking a general 1 to 3 inch or so band down here through southern Indiana as well, even on this model. So it's certainly not insignificant rain. It's going to rain. It's going to rain a pretty decent amount. I think everybody's going to be measuring rain in the inches this weekend rather than tenths of an inch. It's a question of whether you end up with an inch or two or whether you end up with 4 or 5 inches. Some of those heavier bands, if training can happen, if rain training storms just one right after another, yeah, you could get into those heavier bands, and so it's possible. But I would say overall, I think a general 1 to 3 inches or more is certainly possible around this area, and I would bank on closer to the 2 to 3 inches if I were a betting man at this point. Okay, my apologies there for the jumpiness here in the video that you're just experiencing, jumping from one screen to the next here. Had to pull up this, I had forgot to pull it up, but I want to show you the Weather Prediction Center's outlook for this as well, the National Weather Service, as to what they are thinking about this. And basically what you have going on here, this is their forecast thoughts on precipitation totals, and you can see pretty much area wide, anywhere from 2.5 to 3 inches here for southern Indiana is their current thoughts. So looks to me like some significant rainfall coming. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't shift this just a little bit north based on some of the current trends in the modeling. But again, I think a good solid 1 to 3 inches, with 2 to 3 being pretty common around here in the area. And of course, because of that reason, we are under a slight risk of excessive rainfall. Basically what this means is that there is a slight chance that 10% or so chance that at any given point in this area, the flash flood warning criteria could be met sometime here over this rain event. So flooding certainly a possibility. And one thing I would lastly want to mention too here is that there is a chance of some severe weather down to our south, primarily on Sunday. The slight risk for severe weather does just cover right around towards the Evansville area there on Sunday afternoon. I think is probably will be more of a heavier rain event, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a couple of stronger storms out of this. It's just something that we will have to keep an eye on. Depends on how much rain there we do experience on Sunday. If it becomes more scattered, we got the chance for some severe weather there, but if it becomes an all-day precipitation shield, you can pretty much count that out, and it'll stay confined to our south. So that's something that we're just going to have to watch. We'll have to see. But at this point, I would plan on rain, and I would count on a pretty good amount of rain. As you can see, pretty much a deluge there coming. So if we take a look at your forecast, you can go to southernindianaweather.com, click on 10-day forecast. Not too bad tonight as we go down to around 60 or so for your low under partly cloudy skies. We'll go for a 50% chance of rain tomorrow. Again, highs near 78. Some afternoon showers and thunderstorms. If we do experience them, it'll be probably in the afternoon hours there. Then on Sunday and Monday, that's your soakers for the rains. Heavy rain is certainly possible. Rain likely will go with near 100% precipitation chances both days. Temperatures being held down because of the rain. But then as we get past that, temperatures do start to rise a little bit. But what you notice is we have a daily precipitation chance, another 50% on Tuesday. 30% on Wednesday, a 20% chance on Thursday, and then just some smaller rain chances as we head into the next weekend as well before better rain chances come in next Sunday there. But still a little far out for that one, but pretty much daily rain chances as you go through this. It's going to be a wet and very active forecast pattern, so you want to keep it tuned right here to Southern Indiana weather as we experience this. We'll provide some radar updates. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on. All right, that is it, folks. Hope you enjoy your 4th of July weekend. If you have outdoor plans, again, the synopsis of all this, it's going to rain. Make sure you have some alternative plans. I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite for SouthernIndianaWeather.com. Have a great day, and we'll have another update for you tomorrow.